Now you are in India. Every day I will let you know how many kilometers and how many hours. That is day by day. I will let you know.
So I talked about the pilgrimage as a journey over land. But a pilgrimage is also an inner pilgrimage. As we've been going along on this trip, all of us have been confronted by our own karma, by this conditioned mind, this I, my, me. We have likes and dislikes. We think some things are good, some things are bad. All of us at one time or another have tried to change India. If only they did it this way, then it would be a good country. I like to say it's not really possible that I'm right and 6 billion other people are wrong. But that's how our minds work. So just as we unflinchingly face the suffering of this world, we also go inward and unflinchingly observe and wonder, what am I? It's so easy to jump into the heaven realm and ignore the truth of our experience. Our practice is to face the experience that we have right now.
Once at a Buddhist Enlightenment Day ceremony at Providence Zen Center, Zen Master Sung-san stood up to give a short Dharma talk. And he said, in the traditional Zen story, it says Buddha perceived the morning star and got enlightenment. He said that was okay at that time. But if Buddha was born today, his enlightenment would not be perceived the morning star. And then he said, this is what Buddha's enlightenment now would be. And he stood there and he went like this, as if he were crying tears of suffering. So many of us have come here and had culture shock. This is nothing so new for me. I come from New York City, and there's a lot of homelessness in New York City. And at one time, I used to walk to work in the morning, which was about a 1.5 mile walk, and I would pass many homeless people begging on the way to work. And you began to realize that you couldn't reach into your pocket and help each one of them. It was just impossible. Our practice is based on find your center and make your center steady. Part of our practice of don't know means when we're confronted with overwhelming ambiguity and contradiction in the world we live in, we have to be able, if we're going to be helpful both to ourselves and to others, to keep our center steady. And as it says in one of the sutras, there's a phrase called the Bodhisattva attains the tolerance of the inconceivable. So to be able to tolerate the inconceivable means to keep your center steady in the midst of many ambiguities and contradictions, and realize that you can't just immediately start to try to help in certain kinds of situations. You have to stay with your own sense of not knowing what to do, to face your own feeling of helplessness. Out of that, something appears, and then we can be helpful to each other and to the world around us.
Zen Master Soeng gave us beautiful map. Very generous, very wide, very open. If he could see this now, he'd be so happy. So we have these ideas, birth, enlightenment, and death. And we've been to the birthplace, the enlightenment place, the death place. We also, in our teaching, talk about great faith, great courage, great question. So maybe to be born in our teaching, to be born takes a lot of faith. If you have a bodhisattva vow, then you're born because you want to help. You're born because you want to develop your practice and also teach other people how to practice, very simply put.
There's actually a story about this horse, a colt. A colt is a small horse. And when it was very young, they put it in the pasture with the cows. And so this horse grew up all the time thinking, I am cow. So then, cow doesn't do much. Eating, shitting, standing. But this horse had lots of energy. He wanted to run and gallop and, be horse. And so this horse started to think, I'm not correct cow. There's something wrong with me. I have problem. Then one day this horse walked down to this little pond and went to get a drink of water. Just as it started to drink, it looked in, saw its reflection. I am horse! Sometimes people do pilgrimages or travel to spiritual places and have similar experience. I am okay, just the way I am. We are already Buddha, just the way we are.